Hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming along with me as I set up for September and Mabon. For this setup, I'm using the um, Sakura Pigma Sensei marker set, or fine liner set, I should say. There is one marker, but the rest are fine liners. This is the same set I used when setting up for June to get a lot of variation in my line width. So for this setup, I am doing a theme with apples, acorns, chamomile, spiders, and moths. Well, I should say cobwebs. No actual spiders are seen. I really enjoyed this combination of correspondences for Mabon, in part because apples and acorns are a common thing for September or things we're seeing around. But at least where I live, mums are starting to show up in late September, and chamomile is also a fall flower. So once I start coloring, you'll get to see, I think the combination of colors balances things well without being too bright, but brighter than maybe my normal. So what I'm doing first is going through and putting in all of my lettering. So you saw me do the cover page, inking in both the title and my decorations. Now I'm inking in the titles for my to-do list, my monthly to-do list, which I'm going to be using to kind of check down some goals. There are some things I want to do monthly that are more like monthly habits. So things that would probably only happen once a month. They wouldn't go great on the habit tracker, but I don't want to only have them in the front of my journal. And then on the right-hand side there would be the mental inventory or brain dump. Next, I'm moving on to the calendar page, and you can see I'm just doing the abbreviation for September down there with a few little illustrative touches. This is my, I guess, pretty consistent setup so far this year, where I have my calendar and then there will be like a little cutout on one side to show a quote. On the back of the calendar, I have my trackers, and again, following suit from recent months, I'm using mini calendars to kind of see those things. I am thinking that soon I will change up my tracking to try to see if there are some patterns going on there. Now, sorry for the jumpy cuts at times. My cat was super into helping, and lots of head bonking and jostling cameras, so I cut most of it out. But anyway, so next I'm moving on to the thanks, which is my gratitude section. This month I haven't decided whether I'm going to do the list like I have been doing, where I have a line for every day I can write something, or if I'm going to do more of a collage where I sort of letter or doodle or kind of even block journal things that I'm grateful for throughout the month. And then on the right here, you see my little saying from my tarot card for the month, and this is "Truth shall set me free." Yeah, I definitely, I think I've said this before, but doing my year ahead tarot spread and then using Elliot Oracle's blog, and Email has a book to pull for each of his card interpretations. He has little, like, one or two sentences, even just a few words sometimes, that summarize the theme of a card or a sort of takeaway. And putting those for my cards each month has really helped me stay engaged with that year ahead drill, even as the year is winding down. We're going into September now. Especially it's been nice since 2021 has not been conducive to supporting my tarot practice. Having that reference to my year ahead tarot has been a great way to kind of stay connected to things. So what you're seeing here is for the chamomile, I started going through just doing little circles, and then I went behind later to draw the lines for the flowers and the petals. My triggers are all the same. I did move up cleaning and exercise next to each other so that I could use the same key and just kind of write the legend on either side of the key there. The calendar is my same 7x7 boxes. This size has been working really well. I'm only a few weeks into my fall classes, but so far the box size has still been enough to include due dates as well as other events going on. I am trying to decide at this point if I'm going to try moving some of my work appointments into this calendar. I haven't decided yet. Especially right now, my work schedule is very flexible depending on when my appointments are and kind of how things go there. So anyway, I did the cutout on the right, and this month I am doing a little pocket in the top left there so that the illustration from the to-do page can poke through and be seen from the calendar view as well. The chamomile was actually really fun to draw. I just kind of did a little cluster of dots and connected them down into a bouquet. Oh, and these are the mums. So you'll notice that I did not sketch those in first. I use 3 different colors of yellow, orange, and Tombow markers, and one artist Loft marker, and layer them on top of each other to try to get some texture going on there. Apples, I color with a Tombow Dual Brush marker, and the green is my Crayola Supertip. The brown is an artist Loft water brush as well, and that brown is on the acorns and apple stems. Later, you'll see, so I was going pretty fast here, but you can see I'm doing a few coats. I'm trying to build up the color in a few places on the apples to give a little depth and shape. And later I go in and kind of deepen that with a gray marker to make my shadows even richer. Once again, here are these mums, putting them down in kind of squiggly blobs. And then trying to make lines radiating out of the center and a few different layers of the 2 other colors. I used the brush end for this to try to get a finer point. I do wonder if I would have enjoyed having the consistency of using the bullet end, but I think it still turned out just fine. So going into September this year, I have still been trying to sort out my gluten-free sourdough starter. I've tried a few different methods, all trying to work with wild yeast, and several of them have seemed like they were going perfectly well, getting nice and bubbly, doubling in size, but then just immediately the next day would fall completely. So I am not giving up. I will be starting again with actual active packaged yeast to see if I can get a good starter going. I would love to have some bread ready for Mabon, so we'll see if I can figure this out. Um, Also, so as you may remember, if you've been around, I moved slightly further north in May, and 2 weeks ago, the first apples showed up at our farmer's market, and it's just been a really lovely experience to have local apple farmers. The varieties that the farmer brought a few weeks ago were varieties I'd never heard of. Just very local heirloom sort varieties that were a magnificent combination of being a pink or red on the outside, but a combination of tart like a Granny Smith and juicy like a Crayola apple. So I'm very excited to see what sort of apple varieties come up in the next few weeks now that I'm living where apples grow more readily. So yeah, through here I am just repeating these same motions, same little illustrations. Once I go through and get them all in, I will go with a Artist Loft water-based dual brush pen and color in my headers. And for those, I use the same gold color across them all. And I do apologize, I got to mark on my table where this new setup cuts off. I've tried to cut out any long segments where you only see my wrist moving and nothing else, but hopefully by October I'll have that figured out. So yeah, this is my gold color here. I really love this color. You'll see it throughout many of my past videos. I think one year I used it for in bulk dragons, and oh, so happy. Anyway, so once I get this gold in here, I bring out my gray marker, and that is a Pitt Artist marker. It's alcohol based, so you have to be a little more careful using it. It can bleed through quite easily. So I begin that by adding it in. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I do the green first. My green headers from the Crayola Supertip. The gray I use to, see here, yeah, I'm adding some shadows to my apples and acorns. Then I will go through and mark the headers for my trackers and some of the quote in my little saying for the month. I think, so I used the gray marker in one instance that oh, okay, yes, this is the first stroke I did there after the red, and I had to clean it off. It included a little red in it. And here I'm getting the variation in the quote. I did go back after I set up my weekly here. So this is my photo store weekly, and it has the sort of rolling to-do list on the side there, and I am fairly certain this is a plant-based bride design. I don't remember seeing it in her recent videos, but I could be mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Plant-Based Bride who uses this setup, and I have been using it for several months now. It works well because I have the full length of the page per day, and rarely do I need more width than half a page per day, so this is sort of great balance there. So I'm flipping back to August to see when August ends and September begins. And for my dates in September, I use the red, and for my dates in August, I go in with the brown. looking back, I do kind of wish I had done the days of the week different for the different months too, just to add a little more visual distinction there. But this worked absolutely fine. Now I'm freehanding in a little illustration. So after all the apples and mums and chamomile I had done this far, I felt completely confident just to go directly in with my marker on this little weekly page, especially since I will only be seeing this for a few days. So if I had messed it up and really didn't like it, I could handle seeing it for a few days. So yes, once I get this done, I go back and I put in my dates on the calendar. And looking back, I wish I had used a slightly different color combination. Something felt a little off with it, so I went over the dates with a gray stripe for each day, and I mean, it's okay. It didn't turn out as great as I wanted. The dates bled a little because the marker wasn't completely dry. Yeah, you can see me putting it in here with this sort of dark orange brown color. But yeah, I think overall I'm quite pleased with this setup. I think my little illustration choices of correspondences will be fun to vary throughout the month, and I'm considering how I might change and tweak things to further support those monthly goals. So here's my final flip through on my cover page, to-do list and mental inventory, the calendar spread with the cutaway to the illustration on the left and the quote on the right, my trackers on the left, my space for my gratitude on the right, that may be a list, maybe not. And then this is my weekly once I started filling it out. My initial flip through didn't work, so we began it later in the week. Thanks for coming along with me. Blessed be.